Hey folks, this is Fernando doing another video for the Modern Survivalist, and in this video exploring yet again our EDC options. Now, if you've been following the channel for a while, and if you don't, I encourage you to do so by subscribing, hitting that little button over there and the notification bell so as to receive actual updates and videos as I keep on uploading them. You probably know that I have already a pretty much set idea of what I want for my EDC. It's gonna be revolving around having a flashlight, having the typical things you have, but having a multi-tool, having an actual full-size knife, something along these lines. Now, it's not everyone that has the same needs. It's not everyone that has the same options in terms of the clothes they wear, how heavy or light the EDC you have has to be, or even just your preference, what you want to have with you, all right? In terms of cost, these things are not exactly cheap. $200 and something US multi-tool, $300 knife, yeah, like a K in terms of your pocket EDC. Maybe that's not something you're willing to invest into it and you want something cheaper, or you just want something more compact, lighter. So that's what we'll look at in this case. Let's leave these just for comparison here, and let's go into this wonderful little tool that is going to be the center of today's video, the Knipex Cobra XS, the extra small pliers by Knipex. These are made in Germany, some of the finest quality you'll find in any tool, and they are pretty amazing. They're wonderful, really. I knew about them for a few years now. I saw some people that liked them and carried them. Again, for me, it was mostly about this, and to be honest, my EDC covers pretty much most of my needs, or even all of the ones that I end up having. It's never been the case that I needed something like urgently and it was like, man, if only I had a bigger multi-tool, or man, if only I had a bigger knife. Being completely honest, 95% of the needs I had in the past, I could have covered those with something like this, you know, like a little squirt PS4. In fact, for a while, I had the previous model of squirt, the P4. That's a little multi-tool that I carried as my EDC for a while, and it did awesomely well. But if you want to have the option of having not just good but great pliers and having something that is super compact and about the $30 price range, if I find it, I'll leave the link there in Amazon. This is the way to go. These are very lightweight. It's like a couple ounces that it weighs. It has a 28 millimeter capacity for how big it gets, and it's even superior to your Leatherman. So in spite of being a lot smaller, a lot compact, it just works better. It just beats the Leatherman in the plier department. It just does that. One of the things I've noticed over the years is that with your Leatherman, yeah, you can do lots of things. Usually you rely a lot on this, on the grip strength. You have to put sometimes a lot of pressure if you don't want this to slip. Not the case so much here. This uses just better physics, and with a little bit of pressure on even one, it just starts self-adjusting, and it works beautifully well. Those teeth, the entire tool just works fantastically well, and it self-adjusts and self-tightens as you put a little bit more pressure. So if you have like a limited reach, you just get yourself in there and just a little bit of pressure, you really start working with this nice and tight. Differences, limitations, what is it that the Leatherman does better? Well, those needle nose pliers, they're longer, they're thinner. These are surprisingly good. You can even pull hair with these because they're so tight and so built to such a small error margin that even you can use it as a tweezer, which is pretty cool in itself. You have to just hold it in your hand to appreciate how well built it is, how strong it is, and how light it is all at the same time. Now, going into the territory of who is this for? Well, this is for someone that wants to use a plier frequently. Now, it's not like a handyman or someone that is using tools, proper tools all day long. No, for that you would have a toolbox with maybe a belt with actual full-size tools. But if you're the kind of guy that works maybe in tech or some little handyman kind of gig that you have going on, and you find yourself caught every once in a while with, oh, what is that over there? Well, this is fantastic. This is actually better than your Leatherman, because in the case of your Leatherman, not only do you need to do more force, not only will this adjust nuts that are just too big for even the Leatherman, but this is just lighter, cheaper, and quicker. For the Leatherman, you need to pull this out of your pocket, right? You have it in your pocket with a clip. That would be the fastest way. Have it with your pocket. You open this up, and there you go. This is just in your pocket as it is. You just pull it out of your pocket, and you start wrenching and prying on stuff immediately without any kind of messing around. And again, in a more effective manner, as a better tool, as more of a dedicated tool, rather than the multi-tool that the Leatherman is. Now, another thing would be for people that want to combine different things. Let's say you want to go with a affordable and super minimalistic EDC. Okay, I want a knife, but I don't need a tactical folder. I'm not going to go stabby on anyone. No, that's not something that I'm even considering because just whatever reason. Well, I still want to have a nice knife, and you can have something like that. Opinel, $18, super cheap, and you have a nice full-size blade with a nice locking system. This is tough. This is dependable. This is reliable. This is simple and weighs almost nothing at all. Yeah, of course, you're not going to be using this as a pry bar, but when it comes down to cutting, preparing a sandwich, cutting some stuff, carving, doing whatever handiwork you need a sharp blade for, always remembering that it is a rather thin profile. You're not going to be prying, you're going to be breaking that. But for cutting, this will cut everything and more without an issue, doing it so cheap and lightweight. This is just a piece of wood, all quality, made in France, cool, but you get this French-made tool with this German little plier, this setup, what is it, $50? 200 and something bucks, and these two will just cut better and work better as an actual plier, and yeah, in a more lightweight, compact format. Now, you could also go with this other way of, you know what, I just want something a little bit more versatile, getting closer to this, but for whatever reason, let's say you're watching this from UK, you're in UK, you're kind of screwed because forget about having anything like this. No, that's going to be landing you in jail, but I can have a UK legal pen knife. All right, you have your Victorinox. You have your Pliers. These two will get you very close to this, and in some aspects even better. I mean, the blade in your Leatherman is actually quite nice. The blade in your Victorinox is quite nice too. Yes, this one locks, this one doesn't, but you do what you can. But these two will give you a nice setup that is very lightweight. And in some of these things, man, I just have to keep repeating that. It's just a better plier than the full-size, much heavier Leatherman, all right? Then, I mean, you could even go as far as saying, you know what, I want all the capabilities of this, but how is it that I do that without, maybe spending this amount of money? Well, you could go with something like this. Locksmith from Victorinox. Again, $50 plus $30. You're not even half the way to your charge. And here with a little clip that I've seen being sold lately, you can have this clip to your pocket. You have one hand opening with a better blade than your Leatherman, all right? This is a great tool. I've done a dedicated video to this. It locks into place, single hand opening. You have all the full-size tools you could possibly want in this fantastic Leatherman. It's Swiss-made, high-quality manufacturing, and affordable. Yeah, this is a great combo right there. Now, the other option is, okay, I just want to have this, but cheaper. Well, we've talked about that as well. The Swiss Tech or similar brands, because the patent has already expired, they're making some decent tools, actually some great tools that are also very affordable, and they're pretty much the same thing. So something like this, it's going to be $30. Something like this, $30. Which one would I rather have? Well, man, all honesty, I feel this is going to be giving me so much more, right? Because I have the full-size multi-tool with the locking blades and the saw and all of that stuff, which this is just going to be the pliers. But I insist, if what I need mostly, if what you're going to be using mostly is a plier, and every once in a while a little knife, and depending on how much of a need you have or how much more you need some of the other tools, you have some options there too to consider. But if you mostly revolve around the plier thing, this is something you definitely have to consider. Guys, that's gonna be all for now. I hope I gave you a little bit more food for thought there. Try these out, they're really amazing. If you wanna learn more about survival, preparedness, and especially about EDC, I covered quite a bit of that in Street Survival Skills. There's dedicated chapters about EDC, right, gear, that stuff there, and more about the economic aspect of preparedness, surviving the economic collapse. Both books available following the links there below. See you next time, take care.